Hello friends, this is class 9 of Kerala PSC HSA English. Today I am discussing on Matthew Arnold's Dover Beach. Dover Beach is a celebrated short lyric of 36 lines written by Matthew Arnold, first published in 1867 in the collection named New Poems. The composition may have begun as early as 1849, and the most likely date is 1851. The poem has been regarded as the quintessence of Victorian sensibility of dilemma and confusion. The title of the poem refers to the shore of the English ferry port of Dover in Kent, facing Calais in France at the Strait of Dover, the narrowest part of the English Channel, where Arnold went for honeymoon with his wife Frances in 1851. Like scholar Gypsy and Thyrsis, Dover Beach also describes a world that is torn asunder by failed values and uncertainties. It also belongs to the category of dramatic monologue, where Matthew Arnold, the poet, is a speaker and his wife, Frances, is the listener. The poem has 4 stanzas, with first stanza containing 14 lines, second stanza 6 lines, third stanza 8 lines, and fourth stanza 9 lines. It has no rhyme scheme. Dover Beach. The sea is calm tonight, the tide is full, the moon lies fair upon the straits. On the French coast, the light gleams and is gone. The cliffs of England stand glimmering and vast out in the tranquil bay. The author begins the poem with a very peaceful tone. He is on the beach, watching the calm sea and the full tide. It is a moonlit night and the tide is at the full. The moon's bright light shines on the French coast across the English Channel and disappears, while the cliffs of England glimmer. Come to the window, sweet as a night air, only from the long line of spray where the sea meets a moon blanched land. Listen, you hear the grating roar of pebbles which the waves draw back and fling at their return up the high strand, begin and cease, and then again begin with tremulous cadence slow and bring the eternal note of sadness in. So, from the lines, we can realize that uh, both the poet and his wife is staying in a hotel or a resort near the beach, and he summons his wife near the window to experience that beautiful scene and the air. He wants her to see and hear the calmness and beauty of the water at that moment. He then goes on to suggest a continuous personal battle going on in his life, probably dealing with love, which leads him to a feeling and tone of sorrow. He invites her to listen to the grating of the pebbles as they are flung back and forth by the waves, bringing the eternal note of sadness. So, here Arnold is using the waves as an illusion, representing the joy and pain of relationships, which sometimes leads to unhappiness but can also lead to pure bliss. So, just like the waves move back and forth on the shore, in our life also there are ups and downs. And sometimes it will be sadness, sometimes it will be happiness. And this is just repeating. It's a recurrent process. And Matthew Arnold imagines that just as the waves do nothing useful, but it goes on beating in vain against the shore. And just like that, man too is very busy always. He's getting nowhere. Sophocles long ago heard it on the Aegean, and it brought into his mind the turbid ebb and flow of human misery. We find also in the sound a thought, hearing it by this distant northern sea. The poet here gives a remark that Sophocles, the great Greek tragedian, has heard this ebb and flow of human misery, which they are hearing now. Here he is associating the human suffering and the misery to the sea. Like the sea, things may appear perfect and wonderful from the outside. The sea is always, calm from the surface, but can be completely flawed on the inside. So, at this point in the poem, Arnold is speaking of the unkind reality of the world. So, the rhythm of the tumultuous waves brings a thought to the mind of the poet about the human plight, where everything is violent despite the superficial calmness. So he draws our attention to the Greek dramatist Sophocles, who mirrors his idea that the human mind is like the sea, with turbulent ebbing and flowing, full of unruly and disorganized thoughts. His tragedies, especially Antigone, we can see always evil things are coming to a house which is already doomed. So, many years ago, Sophocles has heard it through the agency, and now it is Arnold and his wife. They are now on the northern sea, and they can hear the same, eternal note of sadness, or the song of humans' misery can be heard through the waves of the Dover beach.